every opportunity I sought to preach, teach, lead, or even go on a mission trip. A young guy struggling with homosexual desires was too much of a liability to him. I even came to truly believe that I was too spiritually weak or incompetent to do ministry. Buying into a perverted and hateful form of love I was taught, called love the sinner, hate the sin. I hated myself, my sin, and did everything I could to change who I was, even submitting to attempts at exorcism. In that mindset, they let me stick around for 4 years, never truly honored my calling, and they kicked me out after I was honest about who I was. The harm is deep, and the impact is still visible. That time is long gone now, over 5 years past. I've grown. Now others like United Theological Seminary and University Baptist Church, operating in love, offer a different voice. It's a loving voice that has caught my attention for years as I've watched Pastor Doug and members of UBC at every single gay rights event. Even this summer, it was soul healing to see a brave UBC council member walking away under arrest because she refused to let LGBT people be second class. It still heals my soul when I realize that even when I went through all my hurt, a small church I barely heard of called UBC stood up for my rights. You stood for me before I believed I needed it. In fact, I remember thinking, what kind of Baptist church rallies a gay pride? I probably thought you were all going to hell. It's taken a while, but your message of love came through. 4 years ago, I refused to give up on the call God gave me and applied to United Theological Seminary. Having been kicked out of my previous school and not receiving a bachelor's degree from them, I wasn't even sure that I'd get in, or what I was getting into. But they expressed their principle of love by letting me in their master's program. In love, they accepted me. They struggled with me. They picked me up as I fell. And over the years, when I got too depressed, reconciling everything that had happened, I finished my homework. My professors understood and they waited patiently for me to catch up. I learned what love truly means as they treated me in the ways of God's grace. Love has forever changed my life. Love has forever changed all of our lives. So what does all of this have to do with National Coming Out Day tomorrow? What does the story of this remarkable church and a remarkable couple have to do with David the King and David the Intern? The common thread is that all of our stories are about letting God's love come out. When you live a life of intentional love, you bring the presence of God into every situation. Operating in this kind of love is so different than the way the world usually operates. So ahead of its time, and yet simultaneously so timeless, that it changes everything around you. With love, every situation is inevitably changed by the presence of God. So let God's love come out. When oppressed people come knocking, let God's love come out. When we see our neighbors crying out for political and economic justice, let God's love come out. When we see the violence of racism and sexism surround us, can you say it with me? Let God's love come out. When we see youth around America bullied to the point of suicide, let God's love come out. And if I ever find I'm the one on the side of hate, let God's love come out.
As God has given us much, let us give back freely.